Hello, and welcome to our Pacific Northwest Boating Channel. The goal of this channel is to share our experiences in boating around the San Juan Islands, British Columbia, and in particular, the Inside Passage to Alaska. We hope that it will help other boaters in planning their northbound trips. Although this channel is still in the early stages of construction, when complete, we hope to have videos on a number of topics such as boat preparation, weather forecasting, wildlife viewing, glaciers, fishing and crabbing, and destinations. Our boat is a 27-foot Ranger tug. It's powered by a 300 horsepower Yamaha outboard engine. Our Inside Passage trips start in Birch Bay Village in northern Washington, and the farthest point north that we go is Glacier Bay. So here's an example of the daily mileages for one of our trips. With full fuel and gear and a clean hull, our fast cruise is 28 miles an hour, which gets us about 1.65 miles per gallon. In bad weather, we often slow down to displacement hull speeds of 9 miles an hour, and we get a smoother ride and better fuel economy of 2.1 miles per gallon. So before departure, it's prudent to make sure that the boat is ready for such an extended trip. Prior to our first Alaska trip, we did the usual maintenance, as we do every spring, but in addition, we changed the water pump, spark plugs, thermostats, and applied new bottom paint. And although there are many places along the way that have good supply shops, it's still best to have some critical items as spares in the boat. In our preparation video, we'll discuss what spare parts we took, as well as what we found necessary. Although a trip to Alaska and back can take as little as 3 weeks, most people will probably take longer, and during this trip, one will definitely encounter a variety of weather conditions. While much of the Inside Passage is in generally protected water, there are many anchorages along the way that provide shelter. Understanding weather conditions for each leg is still. Other factors to consider are tidal passes with strong currents and 2 open water sections, Cape Caution and Dixon entrance, that are exposed to ocean swells. Weather forecasts in the U.S. are provided by the National Weather Service and in BC by Environment Canada. In the weather section, we will discuss the use of weather apps such as Windy and SailFlow to predict wind speed and direction, and where to find actual conditions reported at light stations and booths. So why cruise the Inside Passage? Well, in addition to the sense of adventure, for us it's primarily 3 factors: wildlife, scenery, and coastal culture. And going on a private boat is one of the best ways to experience all of these. This is one of the best wildlife watching trips one can imagine. We've spent hours watching large pods of humpback whales bubble feeding, bears catching salmon in small streams, and eagles soaring overhead. In the wildlife videos, we'll cover where to go to see all of these creatures. In addition, we'll discuss some of the recent whale identification tools using AI to identify humpbacks from photos of the unique markings on the underside of their flukes. In addition to wildlife, there are so many beautiful places to see on a trip to Alaska, and we'll try to share descriptions and images of those that we personally visited. This particular shot is from Glacier Bay National Park. And speaking of glaciers, it is an amazing experience to be able to take your own boat up to these majestic features, and this is one of those things that differentiates an Alaska trip from other cruising grounds. This photo is of the Sawyer Glacier in Tracy Arm Fjord, roughly 60 miles south of Juneau. The cool guy in the image on the right is my friend Ross, who's also my son-in-law's father, who is gathering up some Bergie bits to chill our afternoon margaritas. Our video on this topic will cover the 3 areas that we've gone to see tidewater glaciers: LeConte Bay, which is near Petersburg, Tracy Arm, which is near Juneau, and Glacier Bay. There are excellent fishing and crabbing opportunities all along the way. Now, I use a downrigger for salmon fishing with a flasher and lure. Rockfish are also plentiful, and although my halibut skills still need some help, I'll share some of our experiences there also. And if you're not interested in fishing yourself, there are lots of great restaurants serving local seafood, and most of the towns you'll stop at are fishing towns, and we've traded beer for fish with local fishermen with some success. And finally, we'll try to show some of the towns, the beautiful anchorages, and highlight some opportunities to see coastal and native culture.